And following Arn that Spring Stampede event, WCW sent Sting and Rick Rude to Japan to wrestle in an event in Japan, and 53,500 attended this New Japan event. But, buddy, unfortunately, the most memorable thing that happened for WCW fans is this is Rick Rude's last match. He gets injured. He challenged Sting for the international title. The match goes 22 minutes. Then during the match, Sting dives over the top rope on Rude. When Rude catches him, he hits his back on the elevated platform where the ring was located. This occurred less than halfway throughout the match. Rude would manage to finish the match, Arn, as you would expect. But, man, he injured his back. And using a belt shot and off the top rope knee drop to regain the title here, that was how it was finished. But there's a couple things about this one first, Arn. I want to talk about this because we are going to talk about what this meant for Rude. First of all, these are two of the biggest players in WCW, and Bischoff sent him over to Japan to kind of repair the fractured relationship that had been going on between New Japan and WCW. But, Arn, you've wrestled in Japan. What did you think about these two specifically being handpicked to perform in New Japan?
Well, it's a tremendous honor to be singled out and gone over to pick to go over and represent your company. You got to look at it as that. And those guys were as big a stars as there were in the business at that time. You always hate to hear about somebody getting hurt because I immediately go to, okay, he's hurt. He's a tough son of a gun, Rick Rude. And to get through the match, I have no doubt that he gritted his teeth and got through it. You might not have even known he was hurt unless you knew what you're looking at. But now he's got to fly home. It's the dark part of the business that nobody ever thinks about or everybody knows. So now this guy had to somehow lay on a very small, uncomfortable bed till the next morning, go to the airport really, really early, at least 2 hours early, and then he gets on a 13-hour flight to America, and however they routed him, if they went to L.A., he could have had a 3 or 4 hour layover in L.A. and then 5 more hours to the East Coast. That's the reality that you don't see away from the actual matches.
No, and I thank you for saying that because we as fans are sitting here thinking, well, what does that mean for WCW? What about this and what about that? When you're like, as a wrestler and as a human being, Paul, just think about what he now has to go through the next day, and the trip back. And you're absolutely right, man. Not only does he have that, little does he, I don't even think Rude probably didn't even know at that point in time, hey, my wrestling career is now over. But ultimately, Arn, that's what happened. His career was over.
Oh, we never think that.
Yeah.
Oh, we never think that. I know I didn't until, the episode in the gym when the little bitty guy slapped me on the back. I'm sure Rude thought, okay, I'm dinged up. I'm going to get on this damn flight and I'm going to drink all the vodka that they'll give me and try to get through it. 13 hours, even if you're up in first class, is not pleasurable.
Right.
And, it's just, I wanted to throw that out there because it's the unsung part of what we do that it'd kill a normal person. It would absolutely kill you. Besides the fact that, of the ramifications, that being his last match, who would have known? Who would have thunk it?
And sometimes that gets lost on us as fans, right? We're like, oh, he got injured. What does that mean for wrestling? What does that mean for, again, to my point? Whereas, are we really thinking about what that is for that person as an individual, Arn? I mean, my goodness. Yeah.
You couldn't imagine. Who could imagine that unless you've lived it?
Right.
I'm sure there are people that are going to rewind this a few times and go, now, wait a minute. Give me that again. You were where, how long? You had how long a layover? Some people might not believe it. Although I lived it. And that's besides on the front side of that, flying over there, you had to do that same schedule to get there, probably didn't have much downtime, and now you got to go out and perform in front of an audience they're different from American audiences. They're respectful, but they're not bombastic. They're not, off the hook, through the roof. They're respectful, but it's not that what you would expect out of 53,000 people roaring like it would be in the States.